All right, man, starting a business in Costa Rica. This video is going to be short, so don't start a business in Costa Rica.
No, don't.
No, we're going to talk about starting a business and some of the hoops, some of the things you might not have thought about. We're going to be talking about that in about 45 seconds. Guys, I'm Michael Allen for TravelCostaRicaNow.com. If you haven't subscribed, please do. I'd appreciate it. Want to see videos as I put them up, hit the notification bell. If you want to show some love for 16 years of living here videos, travel videos and all that, fun way to donate is buy me a coffee. That link is in the description. I gotta say, man, somebody just sent me 50 cups. They're $5 a piece. My biggest one yet. It was a very nice donation.
That was nice.
I appreciate it, yeah. It was very nice. I love when you guys appreciate me because I appreciate you guys too. Anyway, guys, we got our relocation retreat is already filling up. I'm not just saying that. I know it sounds like an ad. Act now or you're going to lose your space.
You're going to do it, yeah.
But yeah, you kind of are.
Yeah.
So if Costa Rica is on your radar, thinking you might want to live here, but you're not quite sure, I think this 6-7 day event's going to be for you. Great information. The contacts alone, he's one of them, is worth the price of admission. We have a fun time, man. Vacation, information. We're at a great place in my town for tuna. I would love to meet you. All that stuff and information is in a link in the description. I would love to see you there. We're talking to Johnny again. You guys know Johnny. If you're new to the channel, he's the medical dental guy, man. He gets you hooked up with breast augmentation, fixing your grill, your hip replacements, what else? I don't know.
Your New Year's resolution, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Whatever
everything. So anyway, he can handhold you. He's vetted doctors. He doesn't do it for free, though. He's nice. Too nice, actually. But don't be doing that, pumping in for information. Don't make me get on the phone. Well, boss. Anyway, he's the guy, man. He can make your that experience. Oh, you don't have to worry about nothing. It's very nice. All right, man. Let's talk about business, man. Let's talk about business. I started one, Johnny.
Well, would you do it again, Mike?
I started now. Okay. Thanks for asking. So I just want to preface something. So when I talk about my business, I can. So when I first came down here and we started. When we started making videos and they started getting kind of popular and we started our little travel agency thing, we didn't really know what we were doing and we weren't residents here. We didn't know anything. So we ran our business through PayPal because we had to. Yeah. I mean, it was, so when you bought a package from me, you want to see Costa Rica, wanted to hang out for 10 days, we put it together. I billed you through PayPal. So not totally legit, Johnny. That's really not the legit way to do it. Now, I did that for a long time. We put the cart before the horse because, again, we didn't have banking set up. We weren't residents. And if you guys ever worked with PayPal, they basically rape you.
Yeah, they take
just want to say. Now, it helped us, but here's how bad it was. So the way they do it down here, so your travel packages that I hooked up for you, there's 10 different things. You got hotels, transportation, the adventure tours you want to do. I literally had to go. So when you PayPal me the money, I had to go to the ATM, take the cash out, $2,000 at a time, whatever it was, and then go to the bank and personally pay each account, that hotel, that adventure tour. And during the high season, I spent every day in banks, pretty much. Not fun, Johnny. I don't know if you've ever been to a bank in Costa Rica.
Oh, I've been a few times.
Now, I'm only telling you that because we're going to get a little bit of some of my examples of me doing the business. We're going to hit on those. But let's get to Johnny now. So what should people, let's start at the beginning. So somebody wants to come down here and they're like, I want to make some extra money, or they want to, most people say Airbnbs. I'm going to build a house and put 2 cabins on it.
Oh, then it's going to explode.
Oh, it's going to explode. Well, that ship has sailed, but that's another story. So maybe a lot of them, I've seen it used to be massage places.
Oh, yeah? For
a long time. People were like, I'm going to go down and do massages or teach yoga.
Oh, yeah.
Or teach English. And then you got the gringos would have some money and they start the bar. They start the bar, start the restaurant.
Right.
There's a lot of that down here. A lot of Germans come down here and do that. A lot of Americans or Canadians and stuff. So what do they need to consider?
I think one of the things that they maybe the fact hasn't hit them. My bar or my place is going to be spectacular. Nobody else is doing it my way. Mine is really special. I think that works really well in some countries where your population is huge. Here you have a smaller population, a smaller buying group, and they don't take that in consideration. And they don't take into consideration all the fees involved in starting a business here. You have the ins, you have the caja. With the caja, you have a minimum salary that you have to pay, and then on top
Well,
of
we'll
that,
explain the caja. Caja is a socialized medicine here, and when you own the business and you have employees, you are paying their insurance.
you're paying for them insurance. They're paying a portion out of their salary also, but it's not quite as much as what you're paying.
And then a lot of people don't know that in December they get double pay here for Christmas. Everybody that works gets it. They're right.
Oh yeah, no, they get a bonus, and they get 2 weeks pay.
Can you imagine if you didn't know that? Like, just to say it just didn't come up in conversation. Somebody didn't know you own something and you have some employees. You literally paying double can, that's.
Oh yeah,
That's a budget.
Oh, and then also you pay double, just like in this, and where you're coming from. You pay double on your when it's a holiday. You're gonna pay in all the Costa Rican holidays.
And I think before we get lost in this, you got to know that the workers here know their rights. They know what they can do and what they can't do.
Mike, no.
They know what's expected, and sometimes they just do the least amount. Sometimes a more servicey.
Mike, they have it memorized. It's not they memorize it. It's kind of like their rights come first and then the responsibility.
I've seen this. I got a couple stories. I'll just tell one real quick. A guy came down here, bought a pizza place. He literally had never been here before. Was driving around, bought a pizza place in La Fortuna. Did pretty good for a minute, but he literally didn't know anything. His employees were ripping him off. What was happened? I lost my train of thought real quick. He didn't do any homework and research. He didn't know anything about paying the employees. It was a freak. Man, I'm missing. I can't remember what I was going to say.
Well, a lot of times people, what they mess up when paying employees, they pay them in cash. And what happens is that when you pay a person in cash here,
That's
it's nice.
So that's my. I'm sorry to interrupt. I'll lose the thought again if I don't say it now, Johnny.
Yeah, wait.
So what happened? What happened? Say what did you say?
The cash. When you pay an employee with cash.
So if they get mad at you, I was like brain farting there for a minute. So if they get mad, if they get mad at you or upset, or maybe you're not, I don't know, they don't think you're treating them right, you're not paying them right. All they have to do is they go to the ministry.
Oh.
They can literally. I'm not saying they all lie. I'm just saying they can go. He's not paying. He's not doing this thing. Yeah. They will. The workers have, and they should have a lot of rights.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they shouldn't have a lot of rights, but you probably don't know them. They do, and if they get, it's almost like if someone's been working for you in, let's say, the maid that's been working for you for a long time.
Oh yeah, that's a great example.
And all of a sudden, so it goes south, and they just go, I haven't got 3 years of.
Okay, yeah.
I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. I know it. I like the fact that they protect the workers, but the workers, and you're going to lose. You're going to lose.
You have to prove that you're innocent.
Right. Exactly.
So this is what we're talking about. You pay a person in cash. You run the risk of paying that person again.
Right.
Because of the fact that there's no paper trail. Hey, I transferred you this money on this date for this amount of time, and you didn't sign the pay stub, so there's
It
nothing.
never happened.
It never happened.
Thank you for explaining that way better than I did. But that does happen here, and again, I don't think we can say it hard enough. They got a lot of rights. You'll lose, and I've got a lot of stories, not just one. You know how you can just tell a story. It happened to. I mean, I've got stories where people just. Oh no, but we're friends. She's been working for me for 3 years. I take care of her family. Yeah, I'm telling you.
Well, Mike, good that you brought that up. Anything that you give your employee here, as like say, I had a domestic worker, and this is my little story. I had a domestic worker, we would give her lunch, okay, every day. You know, go up, go ahead, and it's a human thing to do. She got upset. She didn't like me telling her that you have to clean on the top. Also, the top layers too, is there's some dust up there. She didn't like it because it wasn't my wife telling her.
God, you're a slave driver.
I know.
Johnny.
Well, imagine that. So when I told her that, I got upset. So she went and complained to the Ministry of Work here and said, "Hey, you know what? They haven't paid us, just like you say." So hey, you know, here you go.
It really happened to you?
Yes.
Oh wow.
And we did. You pay this. Okay, I had my ducks in a row, but what I didn't have in a row is that when I'm giving them her lunch every day, that has a dollar value in it. So for the past 2 years that we were doing it, that lunch cost $6. So she was entitled to those $6 on top of the pay that I was giving her because I gave her lunch.
That's a perfect story.
If I didn't give her the lunch, then she would not be entitled to that because she can't say we were giving her lunch. Where'd you go eat?
No, I get it. I get it.
And it's
And how do you know that? You know, if you don't, again, this is the thing. If you don't know this stuff and it hits you hard when you started the business, I do want to go back real quick, and I made a video about this a really long time ago. I might disagree with you on one point. We seem to have more attention to detail, I think, when coming down here. They do the same thing. They build the same restaurant and bar. They have the same food. They have the same shitty service in a lot of places. Now, there's great service here if you want to, go to the nicer places.
Yeah.
But if we build it, we know, like for instance, if they see us in a place, if I owned the place and you came every day for a beer, I'm going to hook you up sometimes. I'm going to go, man, pizza's on me, or here's a shot. They don't do that here. They get that money now and they don't care about you too much. But we know, like, where everybody knows your name, the bar.
5 o'clock.
So I want the people there. I'm going to have happy hours for you and your friends.
Yeah.
I'm going to do this. They don't do any of that. So if you could come down here and you understand all that, you can, even if there's 100 restaurants and bars, and you dial yours in with personality of the wait staff.
Oh, service.
Hey, where are you from? That's
Service.
So I do think you can produce a better product that way.
Oh yeah.
But that's just part of it. We need to get more into the nitty gritty of actually starting. The lawyering, the who's going to sign off on this. Maybe you're not.
Well, Mike, a lot of people place a lot of importance on getting a lawyer, which is important. They set up the corporation, they get all these things in place, and you want to do contracts with employees, but they forget about the accountant. The monthly transactions that happen, if you don't include the accountant on what you have to pay, the yearly taxes, the taxes that you had to pay the Ministry of Education.
We'll keep track of factors.
Yeah. That whole thing, you can be in a hellstorm with Hacienda, which is the IRS here in Costa Rica. You can be in a hellstorm with them guys, and you don't want that.
There was, remember that property you were looking at to do the senior living, and it was a really nice property. It used to be a hotel, and I think they're trying to sell it for, I don't know, millions of dollars.
Yeah, yes.
It went under because they weren't paying their employees Social Security.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
They owed like a stupid, like 14 million. It was a ridiculous amount of money, and they went under. And this place was a beautiful 5-star type of place, and it went under because they didn't pay their employees the cost.
Yeah,
and you have to make it up. Once it's found out, you can't operate until you pay that bill.
Yeah, it's not like, oh, here's a grace period of, no, they're going to either you're going to make this plan up. Here you're going to start paying, and if you miss a payment, you're done.
Yeah, but it stacks up so quick. I missed May, and then all of a sudden it's 4 months later. That stuff affects.
No, definitely no.
Well, what do you think the difference is? Again, I've been out of the United States so long. Is there any key differences between starting a business in the States as opposed to here? That would be like considerations.
Considerations, I think. expecting that what worked in the States is going to work here automatically.
You mean as a business?
As a business, period. Making a coffee shop or a car wash or a maid service, or you have to consider the pool of how many people you have available that will actually take the job in that area.
Who's your audience?
Who's you're going to market to? Right. Well, all these factors, and it's just not going to happen overnight, you know. And then the other thing too is like, you know, with any competitive society, you know what? Oh, they see the way you're doing stuff, and something pops up right next to you that does the same thing, and like, oh,
that's every time.
Yeah. So. Yeah,
that's kind of comical, actually. Yeah. If you're successful down here, somebody's watching. And you know the other thing, just on a sideways thing, I've seen people be devious about that shit. Like they'll call the ministry on their restaurant neighbor.
Oh yeah.
No, I'm serious. My friend a friend of ours this long time ago got deported because she was working under. Back then, you could kind of work under the table. Mm-hmm. This person got mad at this person, and he knew the worker was, you know, not really technically legal. Called immigration on her, man, just because. Yeah, no,
it's
a consideration.
It's jealousy that hey, you're successful. You know what?
And you're a gringo.
Yeah, well, maybe. God forbid you take. You know what? There's enough work for everybody, and that's what people need. There's enough work for everybody. You're never going to be able to take care of everybody. You know what? Work in peace. But no, they call, hey, you know what? He's got this employee there. He's working long hours. Just open up an investigation for nothing.
Yeah. Is the red tape different, or is it just as bad in the States, or is there more red tape?
I think there's more red tape here, but in the States there's an order, and you know what that order is. Here you kind of have to figure out the order that it comes in depending on what part of the country you're in. Because the same rules that apply here in Fortuna or in Siakasala don't apply in San Jose. They're different rules over there. And it might sound crazy, but it happens across the country. You can do certain things in a certain part of the country that you can't do in others. And even if the bank is located in San Jose, the rules are different in San Jose than where they are where you're at.
Would you advise getting a TICO partner? Because that was kind of a big thing to make things easier on costs, easier on paperwork. You know what I'm talking about?
Initially,
explain.
Initially, yes. Get you through setting up the corporation, getting the bank accounts, getting all the things set up. Yes, it'd be a lot easier because they don't question that so much.
How do you protect yourself?
Well,
could there be a clause in there where like, this person's, you know, the president for like a year?
What you do is you give them shares. You give them shares that are revocable inside the Constitution after a certain amount of time. That this is what you're going to do. You kind of work as an officer rather than an owner.
Right. Yeah.
But you know what? Obviously, you got to be careful. You can't trust anybody.
Well, no matter whether involved, man, it just.
You know what? You just settle. Hey, you know what? I need you to do this. I'm going to pay you this salary to be an administrator, and you have them do the things, and then you can remove them as an administrator off that society for later on. You have to start with always with two people in your corporation, so people that are here. It's you can't.
Does that old quip still apply where they say if you want to make $1 million, bring $2 million? Something like that. Is that it?
Yeah, you can't expect that it's just going to happen. It's not. And even if you're going to do in the bigger population areas, you're going to have the competition. Oh, that's a good coffee shop. Let me put one right next to you.
You know, when we first got to La Fortuna, it was everybody. There could be 6 souvenir shops in a row and an empty space next to it. Honey, what should we put here? Let's put in another souvenir shop. Yeah. It was unbelievable. Now they've gone past the souvenirs, and it's a lot of everything's an Airbnb now. Everything is an Airbnb, and the restaurant bar thing. Everyone's got there's 1 million now restaurants and bars in Fortuna, which I don't know, infrastructure-wise, I'm not sure if it's a great idea. But anyway, you're right about they just duplicate, duplicate, which is why I think some people could come in and probably do it a little better, maybe.
Well, I think people, at least from my experience in the States, is that if you take a lot of the good practices that you have in the States, like customer service, that you have,
That's the biggest.
yeah, that you bring that over, the good practices and good processes, you're going to beat a lot of Costa Rican entrepreneurs because they haven't been exposed to why. One thing is copying something, and another thing is knowing how that really works. Why at McDonald's they make the French fry the way they do, and why they only have 3 employees in McDonald's and 7 employees here in Costa Rica. And it's the same company, but they have more employees here than they have in the States. Why? Because they know the model works here. Like, okay, we pay less so we can have more. No, there's a model for a reason, and you can copy something, but if you don't know the background why it's done, that's why things fail. You know, like, I'm going to do this, or I'm going to do a sports bar. But why is a sports bar successful? Well, maybe you have to put a lot of ambience around you there. Why you put all these TVs up? Oh, because of this. But if you take some of those good practices, you can have successful, but understand your market, do the market research, and if something is being sold, question it. No, they're not giving it away because it's good, great business.
Well, if you can find out the recipe that your cousin Kelly does, because if you're going to just cater to locals, you're not going to make any money. So you gotta focus on the tourists or whatever.
Yeah.
That's where the money is. But like your cousin Kelly, everyone loves this place. Everybody goes there. Why? Food good at a good price for tourists, for locals. But most people, they got to start that bar or restaurant. There's no way they can totally do ticos. They have to, they got to get the tourists in there.
Yeah, I guess with any business, Mike, we talk about the first 5 years of a business is when you're establishing yourself. And you may not make a profit the first 3 years.
Yeah, and you have to prove yourself. I want to get back to me for 1 second. So I got kind of, the travel agency was doing good. I want to be legit, man. I don't want problems. And now that Costa Rica was, they started the VAT tax, they started doing those checks and balances with the factors. It was easier to operate under the radar, we'll say, 14 years ago. But now, with banking, everyone's controlling banking, and it's you got to prove everything.
Yeah, you got to.
So, but I wanted to get legit, so I got my residency. I'm doing this. Johnny's helping me, with the business, getting that going, and the banking was really rough. So, for example, I've been selling travel packages for 15 years. The 2 women that work for me, Anika and Bernita, are great. But what happened, I had to prove myself to the bank. So if you bought a package from me and you're gonna be here 10 days and you like what you like and you like the best hotels and your package is like $12,000. Okay, I gotta bill you. And it's going through the bank now. I'm not doing PayPal. Everything's legit. Well, the bank goes, well, 12,000? Who are you?
Yeah, who
are you? And so they go, well, Michael, your limit is only $2,000 per transaction, yeah. Which would mean I got to bill a customer 6 times. That's professional.
Yeah.
So what they do, and I'm assuming it happens with any business, whether you're Tico or Gringo, you have to jump through a lot of hoops to prove your worth. To prove that you are who you are. You're not money laundering. They slow roll you to. Now, if you need to up the limit, Mike, you need to call us. We need to get that approved, and then you have to send it to actually give the evidence that it needs to be improved. So I have to do something. Go, look, I got this. I got to fill out this form. It's a $12,000 package. This guy right here. I got to have all the information. Got to give it to the bank, get it approved,
and then bill them.
So they were doing this to me during high season. And it's like, and I sell, we do all right. We're not like super big or anything, but we sell a lot of packages. And it was super frustrating. Now that everything's ironed out, it's great. Everything's on the internet. I can do all, I don't have to go to the banks. And it's been great. But to get to this point Oh my God. And especially if you're like new, I've been around for a long time. I was already running the business, cart before the horse. But if you were coming down here starting a business and you got all these different fees, you're running to the bank all the time, you got to go to your lawyer. And yeah, and a lot of people don't do, the accountant thing is real. You better have an accountant to do your stuff, because all of a sudden you'll be like, oh my God, I have, nothing's in order.
Well, you know what it is that a lot of people come in here, they expect, oh, let me just give you my credit card. Yeah. Not everybody has the ability to accept a credit card, but they don't also know all the fees involved when you're accepting a credit card. They don't know that you get charged an international fee just to take the card.
Right.
And then the commission portion, isn't that beautiful?
I can't even look at it.
It's
the part of the money they take, and then you got your regular taxes, and I'm happy to pay, whatever.
Yeah,
it's all fine. I try not to look at it.
Oh my gosh!
But they definitely get there for doing next to nothing. But again, you're just jumping through a lot of hoops, and either your Spanish better be great. You need like with you, I had a helping hand, a big helping hand. He did most of this. I don't think I could have navigated it. For my Spanish, and they do, I don't want to say they mess with you a little bit.
Oh yeah, they do.
But they did. I saw them doing it.
No, they
so I don't know what that was about, and maybe it was just this person or something like that. I'm not trying to say they all do that, but if you didn't know,
they question. I'm 7 months at least, 7 months nonstop questioning. They question, and when you have a big package, you fill out your form. Wait the 3 days before you can even start your transaction.
Yeah, that's the other problem, the wait period. I mean, there was just a lot of stuff that was very frustrating, because I didn't want to look unprofessional to the people buying the packages. And then we have another thing, the relocation retreat some of you guys come on. We save you money by doing a wire transfer. Instead of taking your credit card, which all fees and $200 tacked on, the wire thing is only like $40. And but you got to go to your bank. Things got to get approved. I can't tell you how many times, Mike, I tried to. I tried to do this, not working. And I understand, because that money laundering thing or whatever. Everything's a money launder now.
Yeah. I don't know how you can money launder in Costa Rica, because it was hell to just get it done legally.
Well, I don't know. So what are the hot tips, though, to make this process better? I want to say that you probably need a trusted Tico friend or something, but then that's iffy.
Look, so something that helped you a lot was the fact that if you have a reserve, let's say $20,000, $30,000 in the bank where you're banking at, they can also use that as a security for your transactions. That'll help you a great deal.
I didn't have that.
No, we called every time that you had to do it. And the other thing, it had to be in Spanish, because they do have English-speaking agents, but it was like 50 other hoops if you did it in English. So, you know what? Mike, here's the script. Just send us email with this.
The other thing, and maybe it's just me, because, you get sent things, you miss payments, man. Mm-hmm. Now you got your yearly taxes, but maybe you get something sent and it's all in Spanish. You're like, what the hell? It's like spam. Mm-hmm. Next thing you know, you're 6 months late on some sort of crazy.
Yeah, a small tax to the Red Cross or something, and they fine you.
Yes, and you don't know. So it's those kind of little things that can be like, wow, which is why you
have to have an accountant. You pay the fee monthly. It'll save you thousands of dollars if you just do that.
I would agree, and it's too,
Well, Mike,
it's too much. I mean,
Mike, when we first started, how much in taxes were you paying monthly?
Oh, God.
Before the accountant really got things, it got better.
Yeah, it did.
Because of the fact that the accountant was looking, because is everybody, the lawyer sets up the legal entity, does not manage the day-to-day business, nor do they know the tax laws the way that accountant does.
Well, there's a lot of cool things that you do in the States that can carry over here. Like you can set up your house as part of an office. You have to do things. You just can't say it. You know,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
You just can't say it. Like my car is total business write-off. I don't. No personal money goes into my car, whether it's getting fixed, whether it's getting gas, anything. It's a business expense, and I actually do mostly just use it for business. So you have, and you need those. You need those write-offs, or you're going to get, well, like anywhere, you're going to get zapped, right?
Yeah, no. And then the other thing is that you have to check the facturas that the invoices that you're receiving from your providers, that they actually have your number spelled out right, that it's correct, because they can put your name on there, but the ID number is different.
Well, you bring up another thing. So when you buy a package, I pay all the hotels you're staying at, the adventure tours. So what's supposed to happen when I pay them and you come down here, they're supposed to send me, it's called a factura, but basically it's a receipt saying that they got the money, it's that you paid for that person. Now they don't give you a factura. I don't know why. They should get in trouble for not doing that. But guess who takes the hit on that? If I don't have a factura for a $400 hotel, I made, in their eyes, I made $400.
Yep, that's it.
So now I can't write off nothing because I don't have the receipt to prove that I paid this hotel, that kind of thing. And so now you got to like talk to somebody that,
you got to chase them. You got to chase them for that factura. So I encourage you, try to always receive the factura first and pay against it.
easier said than done, but yeah.
But it's tough.
Yeah.
You should do it as, hey, you know what? No problem.
If I gave you the money,
yeah,
I should get a receipt.
yeah. But what happens is, Mike, is that when you give the money ahead of time, and they're like, oh, I'll get the receipt when I can get to it. And as long as you have enough time before the end of the month, you're okay, because then it carries on to the next month, and you may not have another deduction for that.
Oh, the other thing that the banks don't like is when I have to pay money back. So the client, maybe they had an emergency or something, and they can't come. We try to work it out. We try to say, hey, man, we'll come when you can. Everything will be the same. And sometimes that's not going to happen. So I got to send money back. You do that a couple times, the bank does not like that.
They frown upon refunds. And then you as the business owner,
it's like a ding.
They're not giving you, because they automatically take out taxes for that service. They're not giving you back your taxes, and they're not giving you back the commission.
Right.
And you're paying it back to them. It's a cost to you. Right. So just know that it's not easy for that portion, and the banks, they don't care. They're like, okay, you did this.
That's the weirdest thing.
It's almost like it's your fault.
That's the weirdest thing about some of the banks here. It's like they don't care. Go somewhere else then.
Yeah.
Anyway, guys, I know you guys probably have more questions than we're giving answers to. But it's a complicated thing down here, and it can be complicated, and there's different situations that demand different answers. So we're just trying to this is just kind of an overview of like some considerations, I guess.
Oh, definitely.
Anyway, Johnny, thanks for talking.
Thanks,
Maybe we'll have to have a part 2 and
part
3
2,
on this. Anyway, guys, I'm Michael Allen, TravelCostaRicaNow.com. Hey, man, my videos are going to pop up. Thinking about living or traveling anywhere, always do your homework and research. And if it's Costa Rica, I'm going to say my videos, Johnny.
Anytime.
And he's got a channel too, man. Check him out. What's it called?
Johnny Knows Costa Rica.
Oh, Jesus.
Thanks, guys.
All right, man.